Well, I tried to record this episode last week, and it was going to be done in like a two-parter where I started talking about what it was I wanted to do, then went to visit my mum, so I stopped recording, started recording again when I was leaving my mum's, got home, checked the footage. I forgot to turn the microphone on when I left my mum's, so all you could hear was the bike. So that kind of ruined that. So I decided to bin it off. Probably could have kept the first part, but whatever. But anyway, I decided to bin it off on the basis that it's probably the universe's way of saying don't do that one. So here we are. This morning I was going to rerun it on the way to work and on the way back, but I'm going to do some brain dumping, journaling, whatever instead, because this morning my brain has just been absolutely awful. From the second I woke up this morning, it's just been absolute chaos in there, absolute freaking chaos. I can't seem to focus on task. I seem to be, I don't know, in a state of permanent panic, and it's not anxiety. There's a bit of anxiety there. I've got an audit at work tomorrow, an external audit, which I'm preparing for, and I know that's kind of playing on my mind a bit, because you always get worried with stuff like that. I know it's a work thing. They're not auditing Dan, they're auditing our processes, but you know, it's concerning. I don't want to let the boss and the team down by, you know, having a really bad audit, but so I know that's playing on my mind a little bit. My boss has been away for 2 weeks, he's back today, and you know, there's stuff that he's going to be expecting which, due to just workload, he's not gonna have it. And I know deep down he's a good bloke, but he's probably going to be disappointed, so that's playing on my mind a little bit. That could just be those two factors together that it's just this morning, it's just sent my brain into panic. Three times this morning I had to put my backpack on. 3 times. Just because I put it on the first time and I thought, oh, I forgot to put my laptop in there to download this footage while I'm at work. So I took it off. I put it back on, I was like, oh, you freaking idiot, you forgot to put this in it. I forget, I can't even remember what it bloody was now. So I had to take it off again. I went to put it on the third time, I forgot to put my hoodie on because it's a chilly morning. Over the top of my leathers, just absolute frigging carnage this morning. I hate it, my brain just will not brain. On the last episode, oh, was it the last, I can't remember, but anyway, on a previous episode, I had a proper pop at these people that self-diagnose. You know, they're like, oh yeah, I've got ADHD, I'm self-diagnosed because, you know, I can't focus on this or I can't do that. And I stand by it, don't get me wrong, I do stand by it. You know, people shouldn't self-diagnose or just go around telling everybody that I've got this, when it's like, well, you haven't been formally diagnosed, so stop it. You know, take the piss out of those that have actually made the effort. But this morning, I'm not diagnosed ADHD, and I've been under enough psychologists that if I had it, I'm sure they would have said, yeah, you've got ADHD as well. So I can assume I haven't. But I can exactly this morning see why people would think they might have, even if they're not diagnosed, because I cannot brain today. Right here, right now, on the bike, and I know I'm talking a bit chaotic, but right here, right now, on the bike is the calmest and most focused I've been all morning. It's still mayhem up in my head, but not as bad as it bloody was. I didn't even indicate there, not that I needed to, there's rabbits don't give a shit where I'm going. But anyway, yeah. Good day, good day. So for my regular viewers would know that I've got 2 bikes. I've got this, which is my trusty R3. This is my daily. This one comes out all year round. And I've got the 2022 Panigale V4 at home. And my son said to me yesterday, he says, oh, you need to get more footage on the Panigale. People like the Panigale, you should get more footage on the Panigale. I completely agree. And I can also ride it more as well because, you know, it's a stupendous bike. And as I said to him yesterday as well, you know, there are people out there that, and I'm not being big-headed, but there are people out there that would never ever get the opportunity to ride a bike like that for whatever reason. But then the plan was to bring out the Panigale this morning, but with the chaos in my head, there's no way in hell I could brain that bike. Yeah, this one's easy. We got 40-ish horsepower to play with. It's easy to brain this bike. Even with chaos, my head is already halfway up the road, so I can anticipate what's going to go on. You know, it's easier to brain a small bike. That's why it's more fun, I think, to ride a small bike fast than it is to ride a fast bike slow. The Panigale, you just got to be so on it. You've got to be so ahead of the game, you know, paying attention. And I know it's all in the right wrist. I can ride that at the same speed as this, but it's just different. It is just different. So yeah, not that anybody else, that's why I'm on this one this morning and not the red one, even though it's going to be a glorious 20 degrees on the way home, and it's ideal weather for the Panigale today, but I just can't brain it. Absolutely can't brain it this morning. I had a really interesting conversation with the wife yesterday, and it almost got heated at one point, so we had to take a break. But it really demonstrates the importance of communication. So she has been diagnosed ADHD, and she's got something called RSD, which is, is it relationship sensitivity dysphoria? I think that's it, correct me if I'm wrong. What it basically means is everything that I say to her, everything that we talk about, through no fault of her own, she will take it as an attack. She will take it as it's her fault, or I'm having a go at her, or something bad about her. What that normally results in then is her ADHD brain takes that information, and I'm hypothesising a bit here because I don't know what's going on in her head, but her ADHD brain will then take that information and it will do stuff with that information to then, you know, have a go back. And for years, you know, we'd have massive arguments about, you know, just exactly that, because I've got depression, anxiety and abandonment disorder, which means that I don't believe anybody likes me. I don't believe that anybody could ever love me. I believe that people don't even think about me, you know, that sort of thing. I am you know, lowest of the low. I'm an amoeba in the world, you know, that's how my brain works. And then with my depression, I can't take it when people just say things that are horrible. So what you end up with, and it's, to be fair, it's I chuckle then because it is funny, and I liken this to yin and yang, because you've now got somebody, me, who believes I'm worthless, and everything people say to me I just think, oh yeah, but you're just saying that, you don't really mean it, because I'm worthless, nobody cares, blah blah blah. And then you've got somebody who every time you try to say something nice that you genuinely mean, they take it as an attack. They then fire back, which then feeds my depression and anxiety and abandonment issues. So I then get angry because I'm now getting anxious and my depression's kicking in, and we end up just having these massive arguments for absolutely no reason. So yesterday we had a nice long chat about, you know, using a safe word, something that we can say, because I get to the point where she's talking, she's getting quite animated, and I'm sat there with my tension just building and building and building and building to the point where I'm about to, you know, become heavily engrossed in my own brain, now turning and attacking me. And it's yeah, so we were talking about safe words, because I tried to end the conversation yesterday when it started to get a bit heated, and I was like, I've already been sat here now battling for 10 minutes to try and shut my brain up, because what she was saying and the way she was saying it, blah 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 blah, and it just went, you know, it wasn't the greatest. So we're now talking about safe words, something that says, actually, I just need to get out of there. And I think we have just come to that conclusion where I'm literally just going to say, I need to leave, because now my brain has now sided with her and is now attacking me. Because that's what happens in my head, is my brain will side with the other person and it too will start attacking me. You know, it will start saying things to me that I don't like. You know, it will even, you know, my brain will even sit there trying to come up with ways to attack her. You know, you can hear the own voices in my head saying, oh, tell her this now because that'll really piss her off, or tell her this because that'll anger her, or you don't deserve that, so have her go back, you know, that sort of thing. It's fucking horrible. Yeah, it was a good chat. It was a good chat, and I think it's stuff like that that keeps us together, because how the fucking hell we've got this far, I don't know. Considering when neither of us were diagnosed and we were having these massive arguments that were way over the top, screaming and shouting at each other. You know, because she couldn't back down, she can't. Her ADHD and her RSD won't allow her to back down. She has to have her say, she can't help it. And then you got me desperately trying to run away because I'm trying to defend myself, I'm trying to protect myself, and she comes chasing after me because she can't stop. Like I say, it's almost comical when you think about it. It's the perfect cauldron of misery, but for some reason we're kind of making it work. Not easy, fucking hell, it's not easy, but kind of making it work. So while I'm doing this little brain dump, actually, I've been meaning to say I record these episodes about 3 weeks in advance. So anything you're seeing on these, yeah, normally they're long in the past. So this whole brain dump thing of mine, I could have had many ups and downs by the time you watch this. Yeah, normally they're about 3 weeks in advance, just because I'm, you know, trying to stay ahead of the game. Anyway, I've enjoyed this brain dump. It was nice if you bothered to listen or you watched this, because episode 1 actually of this went out last night, and I wake up this morning to have a look on YouTube, see how many views it's had. It's had 4 views. 4, not 4,000, not 400, not 40, 4. Now, I know my YouTube channel is not big. At the current count, I've got 246 subscribers. I do have over 200 shorts out there though, and a lot of those are getting over 1,000 views each. So they're actually performing okay. Subscriber count's still low, but then I did see a video the other day that said subscriber count doesn't count for shit really. It's how many views you're getting, because the algorithm doesn't give a fuck how many subscribers you got. All it cares about is for ad revenue. It cares about what views you're getting. So the shorts are performing okay, but yeah, this first episode of this has only got 4 views, which in itself I guess is a bit frustrating, because it's like, you know what, I'm spilling my guts here, talking about stuff that I think is, you know, good, whatever. And I know for a fact that 2 of those views was me and my son anyway. I say I do it because I like doing it, but when you don't get any views, it really is so demoralising. It's so upsetting, because you think, oh, you know what, and it's not because I want to be famous. I mean, obviously, let's call a spade a spade. When I started this, I wasn't bothered by how many followers I'd got. I wasn't bothered by you know, monetising and all that sort of crap. But I've got to be honest with you, let's call a spade now. The more I carry on with it, the more I'm like, actually, yeah, why don't I want that? Why don't I want a fistful of followers, subscribers, and to be earning a couple of pence from it? Because any money I earn, I'll just put back into the work anyway. But anyway, I'm fucking digressing here. The reason I do this stuff, certainly the reason I'm doing these episodes, is for no other reason really than in the hope that there's somebody out there that sees one, hears what I'm saying, can relate to it, and hopefully it might stop them committing suicide. It might stop them doing something horrible to themselves or somebody else. You know, it might actually give them enough of an insight that actually they think, oh Jesus Christ, yeah, it's not my fault, I'm not alone. Or even if you're completely undiagnosed, you might relate to some of the stuff I'm saying, some of the things like this morning with trying to put my bag on, trying to brain this morning. I couldn't brain. I had to do showers, I had to put contact lenses in, I had to get dressed, I had to, you know, just pack my bag and everything like that, and I couldn't fucking do it. I couldn't do it. My brain was looking at all the tasks at once, and it was trying to process all the tasks at once. And if that's you, if you wake up in the morning, you're genuinely doing that, then it might be that actually your brain's just having a bit of a misfire that morning. Or it might be the fact that, you know, mine I think was just a bit of a misfire. Loads of stuff going on. Loads of, you know, stuff happening elsewhere that caused my brain this morning to just go, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, yeah, I'm hoping that people might watch this and some people might actually take something from it. They might, you know, realise that actually they might get diagnosed with depression or something like that and then get the help they need, because it's not easy. Anyway, I'm just about to get to work now. So, yeah, have a cracking day, everyone. And I'll see you later. I might do another brain dump on the way home yet, I don't know. See how the day goes. Look at Valhalla. Well, yeah, that was an interesting day at work. Despite my nice ride here, my brain is refusing to let up. Taking on 1,000 tasks and then not allowing me the time or effort to choose which one I do first. It's just chaos at the moment. But still, it is sunny. You can see that, look, sun, cloudless sky, almost cloudless. 20 degrees today. Fitness, you know, fitness is important when we're talking about mental health. Absolutely. So I run when I can, and I'll do, so during the week I'll try and go out twice a week and I'll do 5k, and at the weekend I'll try and do 5k, 10k if I can, and I'm hoping to get up to doing, like, at the weekend do 10k minimum, but aim for 10 miles. Because I used to run marathons, you know, I've done 5 marathons, loads of half marathons, mud runs, you know, all that sort of stuff. But fitness is very important. The two things I don't do, which is I need to get better at, is one is stretching. I don't do stretching, which I should. I used to do taekwondo and loads of martial arts, and I used to stretch all the time then. Always stretching because you had to. Yeah, so stretching I don't do, which I'm starting to get injuries now when I run because I'm not flexible, I'm stiff. And the other thing that you should be doing is strength training, which is another thing I currently don't do. But today I have bought a set of dumbbells. The wife has got like a gym thing at home, an outdoor garden room gym, and she bought a weight bench, so I thought, oh, I'm going to buy some dumbbells then. They're adjustable ones. There's like one set of dumbbells, but you just twist them and you can go up to, I think it's 18 kilos. So I'm going to start doing strength training and running to see if that helps a bit with the mental health side of things. If I can become some amazing Brad Pitt fit kind of dude, innit? But walking's the good. If you can't do anything else, go for a walk. 30 minutes, an hour a day, just walking. Throw on a podcast. Listen to your favourite music. Preferably not happy hardcore, thrash metal, that sort of stuff. You want to try and chill yourself down. But yeah, walking's good, gets your heart rate up, gets the endorphins going. Go for a walk. I went for a walk today and I feel better than I did this morning, but my brain is still all over the place. But then there's a lot going on, so I kind of get that. Yeah, my running has been stopped a little bit recently, or it's slowed down a lot because I got plantar fasciitis, which is it's an annoying pain in my right foot. And the more you use your foot, the more it hurts. But recently, I have been walking around a bit more barefooted, and it seems to be easing it a bit. And I know the wife raves about Vivo barefoot shoes, so they're not cheap though, that's the problem. But I'm gonna look at getting some of those to see if it helps. Because if I can stop my foot hurting, I can go out running more. If I run more, then I get more of the good endorphins. I should feel better. I'll try anything to see if it helps, if it can get me back out there running more regularly, physically anyway. You still got the emotional blockers of running. When you wake up, feel like shit, just can't be arsed. Not sure how you tackle that yet. Figure that out later. There's lots of bikes around. Lots and lots of bikes. I've got a busy bike week this week. This little beauty's got to go in for an MOT. First ever MOT. Incidentally, and here's a warning for anybody that has done this, I took the Panigale in for its first ever MOT last year. You'd expect it to have passed, but it didn't. It failed. And it didn't fail because it's a bloody Ducati before anybody starts. It failed because I put an Evotech tail tidy on it. And the Evotech tail tidy doesn't have a reflector. And according to UK motoring law, you should have a reflector on the back of your bike. So it cost me £1.25 for a little plastic reflector that they stuck to the number plate. So if you are going to throw a tail tidy on your bike, just bear that in mind when you go for an MOT. You might want to go and buy yourself a reflector and shove it on the number plate before you take it there. I didn't think about it, to be honest, but here we are. This thing I shouldn't have any problems, because apart from a Krapovich end can, not changed anything on this. Don't need to. Anyway, yeah, so I've got this MOT this week, and on the same day I've got to take the Panigale to have 2 new tyres fitted. 465 quid for the tyres, because Ducati decided it'd be awesome to stick a 200 section on the rear. And because it's bigger than a 190, it adds £100 to the price of the bloody Pirelli Diablo Rosso 4s. So getting back to what I was saying on the way into work about like relationships and whatnot, and how, you know, me and the wife kind of bounce off each other in a really bad way, but we make it work. And I'm not saying that we're professionals in this, but if you've ever heard of something called love language, and these aren't, you know, safe words to stop pain, there's nothing freaky like that, but love language is, and it sounds stupid when you think about it, because it's like, well, God, yeah, you'd just think that everybody would do that. You know, it's obvious, but it isn't. So love language is where you actually sit down, have a conversation with your other half, find out what it is they expect. You know, what do they see as, you know, feeling loved? What are the things that make them feel loved? It might be a cuddle, it might be a dance in the kitchen, bringing them flowers, you know, a meal, whatever it is, but actually have that open conversation. It's something that we kind of did, and it opened up a few things. For me, I'm not a flower person. You know, I like flowers, don't get me wrong, I think they look lovely, but I'm not a flower person. I wouldn't naturally just buy somebody flowers, because I think, to me, it feels like a shallow, hollow gesture, because you're buying love. That's how it feels to me. so I never did it. But it turns out that the wife really likes that. It's one of her things that makes her feel genuinely loved and appreciated. I haven't bought her any yet, and I need to do that, but that's not the point. The thing is, I now understand that. I know that's something I can actually do to make her feel cherished and loved. I also know that she likes it when we actually have time to ourselves, when we go for a cup of coffee or something like that. So we make the effort to do that, go for a walk, have a chat. We make the effort to do that. This is all love language. It's all finding out what your partner needs to feel loved. Not what you think, not what you want them to have, but what they genuinely need, and going out of your way to do it. Give it a try. It might help. But on that note, I'm going to knock it on the head here now, because genuinely want to enjoy the rest of the ride home. And I can't really think of that much more to talk about, so I will see you all on the next one, which will be episode 5, where I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, but I'm sure it'll be a load of waffle bollocks.